Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial on that. Today we are going to be talking about named constructor. What is a named constructor? A named constructor in that allows you to create multiple ways to initialize an object, providing more flexibility in object creation. Instead of relying solely on the default constructor, you can define additional constructor with specific names to handle different initialization scenarios. How do we declare a named constructor? To create a named constructor, you use the class name followed by a dot and the constructor name. Let's look at the basic syntax. Come up here and let's create a class. The first thing is the keyword class and then your class name. And for the named constructor, we simply make use of the class name dot your named constructor, and then open and close bracket for parameters. Then we can have our curly bracket for initialization of code. So this is how you declare a named constructor. The first thing is that we make use of our class name. We add a dot and followed by the named constructor, and then we can have the open and close bracket where we can pass in parameter, and then we have our curly bracket for initialization of code. Let's look at an example. So we have class, and this is for car, string, the brand name, and also for the year. Let's make this nullable. The default way of creating constructor is by saying car, and then we have this dot branch, and then this dot year. But for a named constructor, we simply make use of the class name, and then we add dot. And then we're going to give it a name that is unique to that particular constructor. So for cars now, we have cars that run on fuel, and we have electric cars. So let's say we want to create a constructor for electric car. We can say car dot electric. It's a given name by us. Then we have this, and now we can say brand equals to Tesla, and also we can say the year equals to 2024. And like this, we've been able to create a named constructor. So instead of the default way of creating constructor like this, which we have car and then open bracket this dot brand and then this dot year, we can define an additional constructor with a specific name. For example, I have car dot electric, where the electric is the name of the constructor. This allows for custom initialization. You can see that car dot electric constructor initialize the brand as Tesla and the year as 2024. This means that when creating an electric car, I don't need to pass value manually again. So let's come here and let's create an object with these two constructors. Let's create from our normal constructor. We have car, and I can call this my car one, and then we can say car, and now we are passing the brand. For this, I'm just going to make use of the Toyota, and for this, let's just say 2023. And here, and let's create an object for our car.electric. So we can say car again because it's inside the car class, and then we can say my car 2, and now it's going to be car.electric. And this is how we create an object of a named constructor. We make use of the class name dot the name of the named constructor, and then we have our open and close bracket like this. Like this, we've been able to create an object from this constructor. So we can come here now, we can print my car one dot brand, and we can do the same thing for car 2. We can say print my car 2 dot brand. And let's run this now. And now you can see for the first car we have Toyota, and the second one we have Tesla. So the advantage of this named constructor is that it enables us to create different categories. Let's add another example so that you can understand this better. Let's say we have cars dot classic. So what we are trying to do now is that we're trying to create a category of cars that are the classic cars. For example, like the Ford Mustang of 1967. So we can come here, you can say the brand is Ford Mustang, and then for the year we can say this is of 1967. Now you can see now we have the constructor for normal class, we have a named constructor for electric cars, and we have another named constructor for classic car. So instead of making use of a single constructor and then start assigning Toyota, Honda, Kia and the likes, we all know that all these type of cars fall under a particular category. But what of electric cars like Tesla and the likes? How do we create constructor for this kind of cars? Or the classic cars also, like the example which I said, like the Ford Mustang and the likes. How do we create an object for this kind of car? That's where the named constructor comes in. It helps us to create different categories of objects for our class. So I can come here now and I can create an object saying car, my car 3 equals to car dot classic. And like this we can access the my car 3 dot brand. And let's run this. And now you can see we have Ford Mustang. So the advantages of using a named constructor is, number one, it is convenient. It reduces redundant code when you need specific preset values. So like this, I was able to create a preset value for my electric car Tesla, and the brand is Tesla. The year is 2024. And for the classic car, I was also able to set a preset code for it, brand Ford Mustang, and then the year 1967. The second one is that it enables multiple object initialization. You can define multiple named constructor to initialize objects differently. Now, we all know that it is not only Tesla that is the electric car that we have, and we all know that it is not only Ford Mustang that is the only classic car that we have. So because of that, instead of setting our default value like this, we can do the same thing which we have here for our electric car. We can say this dot brand, and then this dot here. And let's remove this from this place. You don't need this again for now. And let's do the same thing for this also. So we can have this dot brand and this dot here. Let's add semicolon here and then semicolon here also. So you can see now I'm getting error here. That means I need to pass in my argument for this new constructor. So I can decide to come here now and say the brand is no longer Tesla. It's another electric car object I want to create. So let's say, for example, I want to create a BMW electric car. So this is just going to be BMW, and then the year now can be, and now the year can be, let's give it 2024 also. And for the classic car, I don't want to have Ford Mustang again. I want B2 for this, so we can come here, we can say B2, and then let's say the year is going to be 1990, something like this. So if we run this now, you can see we have Toyota for the normal car, then for the electric car we have BMW, and for the classic car we have B2. So I can come here again and I can create another object of car electric. So I can say car, and then I can call this my car 4, and now I can say car dot electric, and now this one is going to be Tesla, and then the year is going to be 2023. And the same way I can access the properties of this class, I can come down here again and I can print my car 4.brand. And if I run this now, you can see I have Toyota, BMW, Tesla, and B2. So like this, I've been able to create an object from all of our constructors. Two important things I would like to talk about before I end this particular topic on this series is that the same way we have different parameters, options for our default constructor, we can do the same thing for the named constructor. We can make this optional parameter. So I can come here and then I can add this here. And now this becomes an optional parameter. So I don't have to add this to it. But if I don't do that, then when I run this code for the year, I'm going to get a null value. So I can decide to assign a value to this and say this is going to be maybe 2023, and like that I've assigned a default value to it. And the same thing is that we can make it a named parameter. So we can come here and then add this. So you can see now that I'm getting errors here. So instead of passing an argument like this, we need to make use of the name. So we can come here, we can say brand this, yeah, and for the year, we can say add this, and this also, let's do the same thing for this brand, do this, and then let's add the year to this. This can be 2024 also, and like this we are still good. So we can make use of optional parameter, we can make use of positional parameter just like this one, and then we can make use of named parameter. And the last thing I would like to talk about is that we can add a block of code to our named constructor so that whenever we create an object from this named constructor, that block of code is being executed. So we can come here and then we can add a curly bracket here, and let's remove this. So I can just, for this example, I can print the brand, and then this can be the brand name, and then the year also I can print it out. You can say, yeah, we have this. So whenever I create an object from this constructor, I can execute this block of code. So let's run our, we already created an object, these two objects. So let's run our code now. And now you can see for the first one, which is this, we have brand BMW, the year to be 2024, and the second brand is Tesla, and the year is 2023. This becomes really helpful when you're fetching APIs, because the data you're getting from API are in JSON format. So you need to convert it from JSON to something you can use in your project. You can have something like, let's say, car.from JSON, and then you take in your JSON file, and then you can convert it from being JSON to the particular object you want to work with in your project. And that's one of the great advantage of named constructor. You can have car.from JSON, and then so you can have car.to JSON and stuff like that. So that's all we are going to be talking about in our named constructor. I believe you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, drop your question in the comment section, like and share. See you in the next video.